Hi, in this video we will see how to sort array list using comparator. So in order to do that we will create one class called employee. Okay, so first we will create a class employee and we include two instance variables. One is integer variable id. The next is name of employee. Now we can include a parameterized constructor to this class by clicking this source and generate constructor using fields. So now a parameterized constructor is included. Now we also include getter methods for these instance variables by clicking source, generate getters and setters, and we will select only get id and get name. Okay, so now the employee class is ready. Now what we can do is we go to the main class and we will create few employee objects and store these employee objects into array list. First we will create one array list employee list equal to new array list. Okay. So now we have created a array list. Now we will create few employee objects. Employee e1 equal to new employee. Pass the arguments to this constructor. ID as 101 Kumar. Okay, so let us create few more employee objects. E2, E3, and E4. And employee the ID 101, 107, Balu, 104, Bimal, and 103, Mira. Okay. So these are the few employee objects we have created. We have created few employee objects. Now what we do, we add these objects into this array list. Okay. So let us add these objects into this array list. E1, E2. Okay. So we have added these objects into this array list. Now what we do is we also need to include a toString method. Okay, so toString method actually belongs to object class, and since all the classes extend the object class, the toString method also by default available to every class, but we can override the toString method, so we will also include that method. Okay, so this toString method will print employee id and name. Okay, so what we do here in main class, we will iterate this array list and print the employee objects. Okay, so for compare the value of I against the size of this array list size, and we implement it. Now inside the for loop we will print the object using system dot out dot println, and we get the employee object from the list, from the array list, using get method, and pass the I, value of I. Okay, so now let us run this code and see the output. Now let us run this code. So now the employee objects are printed. It is displayed in the same order, the order in which it is stored, that is the same order it is printed also. Okay, so now we want to sort this. Here there is one mistake. At line number 20 we have added the employee object e3 again, so instead we have to add e4. So now let us run this code and see the output again. So now it is okay, right? So what we do is, now we want to sort this array list. So if you want to sort this array list by name, so what we can do is, we can use the interface called comparator, and we can create one comparator object. We can write a class and implement the comparator interface by this class, and we can use that object of the class for compare for the sorting. So what we do is, let us create one class. I give the name as name comparator. So name comparator. So this class implements comparator. Okay, comparator, right? Employee. We need to import this interface because it belongs to java.util package, and we include the unimplemented method. So here how we need to compare. So inside the compare method, this comparator interface has only one method called compare, and we have to implement this compare method by comparing the name of the each objects. So we have to, the compare method actually has two parameters, both are employee objects, so we have to compare it. Okay, o1 dot get name. Okay, dot, since name is a string, so it implements the comparable interface. So we have compare to method is available here, and to pass the other value o2 dot get name, right? So now we can go to the main class, and inside the main class we have to first we have to print uh, after sorting. Before that, we want to sort it now. So we use the class called collections dot sort. Right? So collections dot sort has two flavors. The sort method comes with two flavors. One is, one method takes only list. The another sort method takes two parameters. One is list, another is comparator object. So we use the second one. So we pass the array list, as well as we have to pass the name comparator object. Okay, so We have to create the object of name comparator. Name comparator. Okay. So now we have called the sort method. The sort method internally calls the name comparator compare method to compare the two objects and sort it. So now we can print after sorting system dot out dot println, and we print after sorting by name. Okay. So again we have to use the for loop to iterate and print the values. Okay. So let us have this for loop again. Now let us run this code again and see the output now. So now we can see the output. See, after sorting, we sorted this collection by name. So we are getting the value like employee name Balu comes first, then employee name Kumar, employee name Meera, then finally we have employee name Vimal. So now this array list is sorted by name in ascending order. Okay. Now we want to sort this array list by ID. So it is possible because using comparator we can sort an array list in many ways, more than one ways we can compare. Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to create another comparator object, ID comparator. Okay. So let us do that now. So let us create a class called ID comparator. Okay. ID comparator, and this class has to implement, right, implements comparator, right, comparator. Okay. So again we have to import this interface, and we have to include the unimplemented method. So here what we have to do, how to implement this compare method, we have to compare the ID. So o1 dot get ID. Again, get ID returns the integer. It also implements compare to this comparable interface. So we have the compare to method. So o2 dot get ID. Right. So now we have done this. Now again we can go to the main class. This time we pass, instead of name comparator, we pass the ID comparator, and we change this text after sorting by ID. So now we can run this code and see the output. So let us run this code again and see the output now. See, this time the array list is sorted by ID. See, Kumar with ID 101 comes first, Meera ID with 103, Vimal ID with 104, finally Balu ID with 107 comes. Okay, so this is how we can use the comparator to sort array list in many ways. One more advantage of comparator is you don't have to touch the original code. So we don't have to, suppose the employee class is not written by you, it is written by someone else. Then in that case you cannot change the employee class code. In this case, we can use comparator to sort in many ways. That is not possible with the comparable interface.